Oh,
LB or DC?
D-line for sure. D-line for sure.
He ain't let me finish the question. He already knew what time it was. The Players Club is presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington Commanders.
And by Northwest Federal Credit Union. Northwest is celebrating game day and thanking Commanders fans with a $400 cash bonus when you open your first ever checking account. This is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Visit northwestnwfcu.org/Washington to find out how you can score that cash bonus with your new checking account. Welcome into the Players Club. I'm London Fletcher, joined always with 8 to the 9. And we got a special guest, Jonathan Allen.
Yep,
J.A., we appreciate you joining us.
Well, yeah, no, I appreciate you guys for having me.
All right, man. So on this show, we like to ask our guests their top three. We're going to get it started off with Tanner's going to take it away.
Yeah, let me get this part. This healthy conversation is presented by Cigna Healthcare. J.A., man, who's your top three all-time defensive linemen?
All-time defensive lineman?
Yeah. And it could be, I always word it that way, say all-time, but it could be just your favorite top three defensive linemen. It don't have to be the people that everybody else says, just your favorite, your top three.
John Randall.
Yeah.
Of him.
Okay.
Michael Strahan. Von Curse.
Oh,
yeah.
Curse, that's what I'm talking
you
about.
know what?
Curse.
I love that, bro.
Man, so many people forget about Javon Curse.
They forget about Curse, man.
Yeah.
That boy was different.
Yeah,
Javon Curse,
like
man.
that.
We played against Curse. It was my second year. His rookie year, we played him in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
He was something else.
Just different.
Yeah.
So Tanner and I was talking the other day, maybe a couple weeks ago, and I told him Reggie White. I don't know how much.
Oh yeah.
Reggie White, I think, in my opinion, was the best defensive player ever.
For sure.
Because he would go like all up and down the line, the defensive line. Put him at DN, defensive tackle. I mean, he nose tackled. He dominated at every position. Now, those three guys, did you try to model your game after any of those guys?
I like John Randall because when I was growing up, I used to go spend a lot of time in Cincinnati. Hated it, actually. But I would always be at my grandma's house, and I would watch NFL Network. And I just used to always see John Randall when I was young. So loved him for that. Always loved Michael Strahan because we both had gaps growing up. And he was good at football.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Javon Curse, my brother, was a Titans fan, and I was a Rams fan growing up, so you see him a lot.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, one of the things, too, because, we forget. When you said you was growing up, I'm like, John Randall on NFL Network? I'm like, I forgot NFL Network was around.
Yeah.
So did you watch him? Did you watch any of like his? Because most of the guys who haven't seen those guys play, you go back and watch some of those highlights or watch the film. Have you ever got a chance to watch how he dominated just on the field?
I just loved his intensity, man. Just like last Sap would say, a bowling ball, a butcher knife. So much energy, talk smack. I love that part of the game. Then the way he just worked, man, I just loved it. I was just infatuated by it. So
I used to wonder what he was on, man. Like I don't know if I don't know how many years it was. I don't know if he was playing in 01, but I remember being in college and watching him when he was with the Vikings.
He was still, I think he was still playing.
He's still probably playing. Yeah. But I just know watching him playing with the Vikings when Moss was on that team and those guys, and I used to see this dude like, man, what is he taking
just
before
different.
the game, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, them sound bites used to be like,
man, I tell you this. The week of practice, like if we were playing the Vikings and they had to go against John Randall, the stress that them offensive linemen had,
I believe it.
Them dudes used to be so stressed. Like, man, I got John Randall this week. Him and Warren Sapp. Those two
Big
guys.
Nasties.
All right, man. So you grew up in this area, went to Stonebridge High School. It's time for your player profile presented by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington Commanders. What's it like and has it been like for you playing right in your backyard?
It's cool. I was just telling somebody this. It wasn't until probably about 2 years ago where I really appreciated it. You know what I mean? When I first got drafted, I told myself I wasn't even going to focus on the fact that, I grew up here. I wasn't going to let myself kind of, I wasn't going to let myself get too caught up in all the stuff that didn't have anything to do with football. So for the first 3-4 years in the league, I wouldn't talk about it, wouldn't answer questions about it. And it wasn't until probably about 2 years ago where I was like, man, I don't know how much. I mean, I'm in year 7 now. Perfect world, I'll probably play another 10. I want to do about 17. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So now it's like, I don't, every year to year, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. So I was like, let me enjoy let me not wait until after I'm gone before I start to enjoy, you know, how blessed I am. So then that's when I really started to, you know, look back and really just, you know, just think about the fact of how blessed I am to be able to come back here and play for the team that I used to go to the training camps of. And yeah.
How different is it just knowing, because I remember being a collegiate and being in Miami throughout the years, but at least the University of Miami is so far away from where I grew up at, it was like a different Miami to me.
Yeah.
What was it, or how is it being that your backyard is not too far from here and you're in the same area? Is it like something that you like, do you always get that attention that, because I'm pretty sure you get a lot of attention, and especially not like you said, year 7, those first few years coming back, how was the attention when it came to you being back in the area and just knowing that, man, I was a guy that was, you know, 10 people kids up out here at the school down the street?
It wasn't too bad because I moved up here my freshman year. So I feel like it's different when you, like, live here your entire life. But for me, I spent 3.5 years up here, so I wasn't, like,
here for the whole time.
Yeah, here for the whole time.
Where were you living before that?
Chesapeake, Virginia. 757.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tidewater. Yeah. Where the real boys at.
I know that. I thought it was like throughout your whole time.
I only moved up here in high school.
So, all right.
Yeah, so when I first moved back, you know, I told my wife I don't really want to live in Ashburn, Lansdowne, Leesburg. I just kind of want to get away from it all. So we moved out to Herndon. So I lived out there, didn't really know anybody out there, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad at all.
Let me ask you this. Speaking of colleges, you talked about Miami. Obviously, you went to Alabama. Y'all got a big game coming up Monday, on Monday. Are you looking at this like, man, they messed up by letting y'all in this playoffs?
I don't think you can keep a one-loss team out of the SEC team, a one-loss SEC team out of the final, you know, the Final Four.
Yeah.
You know, when I talked to people who went to Florida State, and they were like, if we did what we did in the SEC as opposed to ACC, we'd be in.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, yeah, you want to go undefeated if Jordan Travis got hurt in the SEC. And if you did, it wouldn't be no doubt you should deserve to be in.
Yeah.
But, you know, I always tell people it's not the most deserving team, because if we're going by most deserving team, Alabama probably doesn't deserve to make it in over Florida State. But it's the 4 best teams.
Yeah,
especially after what happened in that natty last year with Georgia and TCU. Nobody wants to see that again.
What is? No, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying. So you like. It's the 4 best teams, and you can't tell me after the way Alabama beat Georgia, they're not a top 4 team.
Yeah.
And the way Florida State looked late without their quarterback.
Yeah, quarterback. And that's something, too. Not only that, I think, too, you can't keep a one-loss team with a Nick Saban as the head coach.
No.
I just think Nick, and this is my opinion, I'm going to ask you this. Bro, best coach, hands down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like college coach. I mean, I'm watching this guy. Early in the season, I'm watching the quarterback, and it seemed like he couldn't do nothing right. Yeah. And then out of nowhere, just like the switch cut on. Like, what is his mentorship or his leadership like, man? Being a college kid that's sitting there listening to this guy every day. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of coaches here that you done seen already in your career. What differs when it comes to a guy like Nick Saban?
What makes Coach Saban so great is he has the ability to make everybody buy in. To get 90 players, 4 5-stars, 3 stars, all to buy in towards one goal, and he's a coach that you want to play so hard for. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that people don't really think about when they think of Coach Saban. They just see him as some grouchy old man who's always yelling at the media. Man,
I like him.
Yeah, like he's a guy like you want to play hard for. Like I would always say, like great players, they want to be coached hard. You know what I mean? Right. There's nothing worse than a great player with a coach who doesn't push him and doesn't challenge him to be great. And the thing about Coach Saban is he's always fair. Like there's a difference between coaching hard and just being a tool. You know what I mean? So he always, whenever he would get on me, I knew I messed up. And as long as you did what you had to do and you went out there and worked hard, and it's not solely off your performance, but how you are in the classroom, how you are outside of the field, he's going to treat you good.
Yeah. We got an opportunity actually to hear from Nick Saban a little bit on Brian Robinson's documentary, Warrior, which is available on the Commander's YouTube channel. Check that out. What about your experience? You mentioned the 3-star, the 4-star, and the 5-star guys. What about that experience there that you felt like really prepared you guys to be able to play on the next level?
Man, I always tell people, if you can make it through an Alabama training camp, man, you can make it through just about anything. Coach Saban mentally, what he really did is he really challenged you to see if you love the game. And if you didn't love the game, there was no way you were going to make it through 4 years at Alabama. It was absolutely hell, like hell. I never forget, we played the national championship January 15th. the 17th, Coach Saban's like cussing defense out for how we played in the game. Mind you, we just won.
Right.
And then the 23rd, we're already winter conditioning.
Wow.
2 weeks ago, we just won the Natty. Now it's whole new season. So it's just a different mindset. And when you're around a guy like that, it shows. It's really hard to understand how someone could be that driven and that focused. But, you know, I say it all the time. When you see guys like that, and, you know, for me, when I went to my first Pro Bowl and I seen a guy like a Cam Jordan or honestly a Russell Wilson, you see how they prepared and how much they put into it. You understand, like, they work so hard, it's impossible for them not to be successful.
Mm-hmm. Lastly, man, we heard about you and your musical talents, man. Yeah. You play several instruments.
Yeah.
Also like to sing.
Yeah, I like to. Don't mean I'm good. Yeah.
Do you have if you're doing a karaoke, you got a karaoke or go-to song?
All my life, Casey and JoJo.
That's it?
1990s R&B.
We might need to have a karaoke machine brought in.
Oh, that one.
All right, cool. All right, we're going to come back for more Players Club after this.
Arguably the best defensive front in the NFL.
Jonathan Allen, Howell drives him into the ground.
Taking Russ down off the edge. That is sack number 8. Got his hands up, knocked it down. Sacked and dropped down. John Allen is the big player. Rodney's got him. Sacked back at the 22-yard line.
Welcome back to the Players Club. It's your boy 8 to the 9 here with London Fletcher, the London Fletcher, and our main man, Jonathan Allen. So, Jay Allen, I want to ask you, what's your most rewarding moment? It's time for the most rewarding moment brought to you by Fanatics Sportsbook, the most rewarding sportsbook. Please bet responsibly.
My most rewarding moment, man.
And it could be pro, it could be collegiate. I guess it's just total, you know what I mean?
For me, it's hard to say anything in college. Like, I felt so empty when I won the Natty. Because when you win the Natty in college, it's like immediately on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And again, that's something I couldn't really appreciate until afterwards. But for me, I'll say my first Pro Bowl so far, just because that's, you know, voted on by the players. And for the peers and coaches around the league to view me in such high regard, that really meant a lot. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you know, I don't care what the fans say. I don't care what the fans feel about me. But for the other opposing coaches and players around the league that had that respect for me, that was huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, and you've gone to 2 consecutive Pro Bowls.
Yes,
I'll say this. Did you feel as a player like validation? Like you knew you were balling.
Yeah.
And you probably maybe felt like you should have gone a year or 2 before that. Did it feel like validation for you?
Yes, because I remember after my second year in the league, I had 8 sacks, 60 tackles. That I played really good, but I was still young. It was really my first year playing. I didn't make anything, and it didn't hurt, but it was just like, man, like I want to be looked at as one of the top guys around the league to my peers around the league. So for me to get it and then go back a second time, that really meant a lot because it's like, all right, like the hard work is paying off. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not saying that's the only thing I play for, but I mean, you'll be lying if players said they don't want to be recognized by their peers. You know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right. Because I remember my first 4 years in New York, I was an alternate twice. I was an alternate my second year in the league as a punt returner, then my third year as a receiver. And so just being an alternate meant the world to me because I'm like, they recognize me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the first year I was an alternate, I was the All-Pro. I was the first team All-Pro.
Crazy.
So I'm like, damn, I had the most punt return touchdowns, and I ain't going.
Yeah.
But I understand there's other guys out there doing their thing, but I was just happy to be recognized. And then I get here my first year, and I go, and I was like,
man,
I'm here. You know what I mean?
Lot.
So I get it, bro. I get it. And I never went back. I hadn't been to one. I was the alternate some more years, and then one year I just got completely robbed. I was at least a third best in my division. Now, I didn't get a vote, but I knew what went on in the offseason that gave me that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm with you with that because people fail to realize we play this game. We here for a reason.
Yeah.
But unless, I've always said when I leave the game, I want to be recognized well by the guys that I share this locker room with and the people that I lined up across.
Yeah.
And you couldn't tell me nothing else. If those guys knew what they had to deal with and they speak highly of me, I'm cool.
That's all that matters.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. We got we're gonna do a little D tackle versus linebacker.
Yeah,
I think
next segment. Come right back at you. It's time for Protect the House, brought to you by Johnson Kendall Johnson, the official insurance broker and risk management partner of the Washington Commanders. where our passion is your protection. And I'm here. Look, they got me in the middle between two of the best that ever lined up with the burgundy and gold. Got a linebacker here, London Fletcher. My main man, Jonathan Allen, here is a D lineman. I'm gonna ask y'all these questions. I'm gonna toss them up, and y'all both give me an answer.
All right, let's go for it.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. Here goes my first question. Which position has it tougher?
Oh,
LB or DT?
D-line for sure. D-line for sure.
He wouldn't even let me finish the question. He already knew what time it was.
I will say this. I will agree with John. It's physically more demanding, his position. Now, mentally, as a linebacker, yeah.
Mentally.
Okay. So I will go
Would you also say that, they make you guys better? Because if you don't have a
absolutely.
defensive tackle in front of you, that's pretty good.
Either they're, depending on the scheme, either they're telling you to hold blockers off of the linebackers, or because you got somebody like Jonathan and Deron, they have to worry so much about them that I can run free.
Yeah.
So, it makes my job a lot easier.
All right, so
definitely goes both ways, though. Definitely goes both ways.
All right, second question. All right, I see we're going to like this. For you both, who is the toughest offensive lineman you've had to go up against?
Toughest, like best skill or like physically?
Just the toughest. Like, it could be whatever you feel, like skill or just physically, just one of these guys you hate seeing.
Toughest. I think the easy one is Trent. When you got a guy who's that big and that athletic, and he's been when I got in the league, he was already year 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Then when I went against him, he was year 10, so he's already seen everything.
He's seasoned too.
I know, we play against him this week, I know that the kind of week that I have to have has to be perfect, because I know what kind of fight it's going to be. But I look forward to that so much.
I'm going to say, I played against Jason Kelsey. I was late in my career. That little joker, man, he was so fast.
Well, that boy quick.
Yeah, that first time going against him was a tough battle. I had to, the next game I was ready for him.
Yeah.
But earlier in my career, the Chiefs, man, they had an offensive. They had 5 guys that you had to worry about.
Jeez.
Willie Rofe,
I would say Willie
Brian Waters. They had another dude who ended up going to the Hall of Famer, Will Shields. Man, they had some guys.
I forgot about Shields.
Yeah.
Shields and Rofe, them boys together was beasts.
Oh, yeah.
All right, third question. You've both been captains and given those game day speeches. I remember those right there from London. What does it mean to be a captain on this team?
Man, it means a lot. When I would really look back and think about it, I would remember coming out and see Santana Moss, freaking Chris Cooley. I remember when RG3 was here and just the excitement around it, and just thinking like, man, that is so special, seeing you guys huddle up and give the pregame speech before the game, and to actually be the one doing it is one of the things where I find myself like, man, I can't believe I get to do this before every game. So it's really special. It's really special.
I don't know if it's like this for you, John, but just want to make sure you say something that resonates with your guys beforehand, because that's usually all right, this is it, the moment. So you want to make sure you're giving them something that's relevant to that moment, to where you're at in your season, the opponent. So it's some thought that goes into it. I try not to think too far in advance, but maybe as we're getting on the field, you're going to your warm-ups, like, okay, what am I going to say? So
I spend a lot of time in prayer about Lord. Lord, help me connect with the guys today, and not make a fool of myself out there. Because if you go out there unprepared, boy.
Oh yeah. Somebody gonna let you hear about it.
They gonna know.
I've had one chance to be a captain, and it was, trust me, it was my worst year. I feel like it was my worst year. I broke my hand that year, but I was very superstitious. I hated. I didn't want to have that role.
Yeah. Being
that I was a guy that was all about what I did on the field, not speaking it. I was a do by example than just a guy that's gonna get up there and get the team going.
Right.
But I will say this: I felt great to be acknowledged by the guys to say that they wanted me to be their captain that year.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back with you with more on the Players Club.
Welcome back to the Players Club on London Fletcher, Santana Moss, Jonathan Allen. Jonathan, we want to take a look at some of your top plays from this season, and we're going to get this thing started off right. Let's take a look at Driving Towards Greatness, presented by Eastern's Automotive Group. Any car, any way, for everyone since 1988. This is you against the Chicago Bears. You get to your man, Justin Fields. Take us through this play and what kind of happened.
So the crazy thing about D-line is whenever I make a play, it's like a split-second reaction.
Yeah.
I just remember before this play thinking like, man, hey, get off the ball.
Yeah.
Low pad level. Pad level was high, so I've been really trying to focus on when my first move doesn't work, working on my second move.
Yeah.
Just really playing with great energy. And, I think that's the thing that gets tough about playing D-line. It's not so much about what you do, it's about how you do it. You know what I mean? I look at a guy like Max Crosby, perfect example. Not so much what he does, great energy, great effort on this play. I just out-efforted my guy, and when you get to the quarterback,
You mentioned your second move. Like your first move was your signature hump move.
Try to throw the hump. I was too high. The guy was shorter, so I missed. Came back with the long arm over, and just
I see you probably watched a little wrestling back in the day too.
Oh yeah.
All right,
that second play. You got your boy here. What is his name? Desmond Ritter.
Yup.
2-point conversion failed. Take us through this play, man.
Man, big time in the game. I was actually surprised they went for 2. I get disrespected really easily. So whenever I see them trying to go for 2.
you felt that was
yeah. And not only did they go for 2, they're going to run it right at me.
Yeah.
I get easily pissed off during the game, and I just try to play with great energy, great pad level, and I had a rookie on me. When you got a rookie on you, that's almost more pressure than going up against a top dog, because you gotta do him bad. Ain't no way you can let a rookie block you.
No doubt.
Man, the way you disregarded 65, it seemed like you felt disrespected.
Yeah, man.
When they ran at you, just get out of here. Then disregarded the fullback and made that play.
Yeah.
This right here, this is you disrespecting me. Get out my way.
Oh my God, that's a little boy right now.
Oh yeah. All right, man. This is our last play that we're gonna take a look at. This against the New York Giants. Get off. Great get off.
Oh God, you in the backfield.
What are you thinking as this play goes?
You know what I'm honestly thinking? So the first time we played them earlier this season, the first play of the game, I do the exact same move. And I go back there and Saquon hits a spin and I fall, hit my knee blows up, hurt my knee on the first play of the game.
Yeah.
So my only thing that's going through my mind is get off the ball, and if I get another opportunity, hey, just don't miss it this time.
Right.
Get on them quick. So I was glad I was able to redeem myself, man. I came back to the sideline, boys clowning me, and I'm hurt on top of that, man.
Oh, that's
just already a bad feeling. Already pissed off, missed the TFL, hurt my knee. Now I got my dogs clowning me, so I was glad I was able to, make up for it.
Yeah, man, that's great stuff, man. Well, we appreciate you joining us on the Players Club, but before you get up out of here, we have all our guests sign this helmet if you don't mind.
Of course not.
Yeah, signing that. And, Jonathan, I know it's 2 games left, man. What can we expect from you the rest of the season?
One thing I always tell guys is regardless of what your record is, people who watch the film, they don't know the record. They don't know what's going on in the team, and you're always responsible for it. So if you do put those pads on, you better be ready to give it all you have, and you better put that preparation that needs to be put in. Otherwise, you're going to play bad, or you're going to get hurt, or both. So, I know the record's not what we want it to be. Trust me, I'm going to be the first one to say this year was disappointing. But, I'm ready to get into a fight this game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Welcome back to the Players Club. London Fletcher here with Santana Moss.
Yep.
Just had a great conversation with Jonathan Allen. Tanner, now it's time, man, that we preview this game against the San Francisco 49ers, man. They're 11-4. San Francisco 49ers coming off a disappointing loss on Monday Night Football against the Baltimore Ravens. So they're going to come in here on one.
Yeah, they on one. And also when you think about it, we was talking about this earlier, just some of the rivals or just some of the matchups when it comes to just the coach coming back and going against his old team. Cal basically already said that he has no revenge in his head because of, just
Dan no longer being here.
But I'm thinking about like a guy like Trent. Now I know Trent have a little growing, things going on with his growing.
Right.
So will he be full strength and coming back? But I know he's one of those guys that probably going to always, no matter how many times he see this team, he's going to want to go out there and play well, especially when you come back here to play. And then you got none other than Chase Young. His first time back. It's his first time back. He's playing at home in front of the home crowd. I'm pretty sure he's going to have a stadium full of his kin folks and people that just watched him throughout the years. So when I think about this matchup, beyond the whole thing of their record and what's going on, that's some of the things that come to mind.
When you look at this, man, you mentioned Trent, and it pains me to see Trent in another color, man. That dude gonna have a gold jacket regardless.
Easy.
Chase gonna come in here extremely motivated. As you look at this matchup, man, one thing that stands out is the injuries alone, on both teams along the offensive line, we're dealing with injuries. We don't know if Charles Leno will play. Andrew Wiley got injured in our last ball game. Trent's dealing with a groin injury. The 49ers, they lost a couple different
like 2 or 3
linemen in that ball game. So what are the offensive lines going to look like for both teams? Defensively, we will be challenged going against the San Francisco 49ers offense. Purdy's playing outstanding. He didn't have a great game Monday night, but he's playing outstanding football. But I think the catalyst to their team, their defense, their offense, Christian McCaffrey. We're going to have to be on point, stopping with him in the run game and also with him catching passes out of the backfield.
I mean, I'm with you with that. One of the things that we talked about and I was telling Logan earlier is that we know that Cal offense, too well. We've been a part of that. And, when you look at all these guys and the numbers that they putting up, I feel like we had the same guys here. Like when it comes to just, if you say man for man, wide receivers, put your guy. You can easily say Debo was Pierre. I was a third receiver at the time, so I was a slot guy. But I can go blow for blow with any one of those receivers out there.
I think we had better overall receivers.
Exactly, because we had Al, we had Hankerson, we had Josh, we had so many guys that fit into that group. They have like 2 or 3 guys. They have two receivers primarily, and then you got Kittle. You know what I mean?
They got Kittle,
But all 3 of those guys going to easily have 1,000 yards this year. Already, Ayuk, I guess his name is, he's already at 1,200.
Nice. Yeah, he's nice.
And you got Kittle with 9 and Debo with 800, which all of them should surpass by the end of this season 1,000 yards. But then you have the one, I think, key factor, or the 2 key factors is McCaffrey in the backfield and Purdy. And I think what people fail to realize with Purdy, everyone want to keep putting this whole thing about the weapons around him. Yeah, that's true. But they had Jimmy G there. He couldn't do nothing with them same weapons. They had, Trey Lance. He couldn't do nothing with them same weapons. So you have to give Brock Purdy his credit. And I think the things that jumped off the page to me when I'm watching him is that he gives everybody a chance to do something or be special with the ball because of his anticipation. Him knowing where they're supposed to be, him knowing where to throw the ball at in that timely fashion. And so that's why I say that, hey, we had all that star power here. But when the ball don't come to you in a timely fashion, you can't do nothing with it. And so that's what jumps off the page is looking at these guys and how special they are, the skilled guys, and then a lot of them, too, are just special because you got Debo, he can be in the backfield 1 minute, he can be out wide, and he just breaking tackle after tackle. And then Kittle, he's a guy that don't even he's built to be a tight end, but he's out there one of the best in the league. So there's a lot of special talents on that offense, man. But Purdy and McCaffrey definitely steal the ship.
Speaking of quarterbacks, we got a quarterback change for us. Jacoby Brissett, he's getting the start, replacing Sam. Sam has struggled the last 3 ball games, and Coach Rivera made the switch. He's going to go with Jacoby Brissett. And I look at this and just watching the course of the season, when Sam was at his best, you mentioned getting the ball out on time. He was hitting the receivers on timing routes. I think the accumulation of all the hits he's taken has affected him and impacted him in a manner where there's times where he has clean pockets and he hasn't stayed in that pocket like he should. He's gone through his progressions. The game against the Jets had a couple, drops by his receivers early in that ball game, which hurt him, and I'm sure it hurt his confidence in making that change. You as a receiver, how do you feel this is going to impact this offense?
Well, already just seeing what Jacoby done in the sample size with the past 2 weeks, it shows that these receivers finna get some targets now. They finna have some opportunities. Now it's all about who you're going up against and what can we do to, I guess you can say, to allow that to happen, offensively up front.
Right.
You know what I mean? With our offensive line, it's going to be, you got Bosa and you got your boy, you got Young coming.
And they got some other guys too.
They got some other guys too, and especially those 2 linebackers when they want to come and, bring it to the party. So that's going to be something that I'm going to be watching, as far as the key matchup, just seeing, can we protect long enough to get so Jacoby can do what he's shown us these past 2 weeks, and can Jacoby continue being deliberate with the ball, being efficient with the ball, and just making sure he's throwing those guys open. I think what jumped off the page when it comes to just watching what he has done since he's been getting these nods late in the game. It's just being deliberate. You know, it's like, hey, I'm going. This is what I'm going after, and I see an opening, I'm throwing, I'm taking it. He's not hesitant about it, and he's giving those guys a chance. And when you give receivers an opportunity, you can't do nothing but try to come down with it. So I think the opportunities will be up, and those guys have to come up with it and make some plays on the outside.
Oh man, yeah, no, it's I can't wait to see how this offense looks, how this team plays in this ball game. But we appreciate y'all joining us. Happy New Year, and thanks for tuning in.